Tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
A look at how ASG's new leadership plans to change campus after a historic election.
Obama stops by his old Chicago stomping grounds to push for a controversial decision.
And why some students say stripping down builds up their confidence.
All those stories and more.
Coming up on the Northwestern News Report, it's your news right now.
So unfortunately, we did not win. It was very close though. We only lost by 80 votes.
One of the guys from the election commission said, Christina, I am pleased to tell you, and then at that moment, everyone just burst into cheers.
Christina Salento and Max Vinson won a historically close election to become Northwestern Associated Student Government's newest president and vice president. That's our top story tonight. Welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Eric Miller.
And I'm Isabel Lawrence. Thanks for joining us. More than 4,000 Northwestern students made their voices heard in the 2016 ASG election last Friday.
Thanks, Isabel. Weeks of dedicated planning and campaigning will finally pay off for two Northwestern students less than 24 hours in the Northwestern room right behind me. Tomorrow evening, juniors Christina Salento and Max Vinson will be sworn in as ASG's new president and vice president. Salento and Vinson defeated junior Joji Syed and sophomore Archie Bhaskaran by only 81 votes last Friday in an election that drew 35% more voters than last year. When voting ended at 5 p.m., both campaigns stood eagerly by their phones awaiting the results. While Christina and Max for Northwestern held a private event, Joji and Archie for NU was in the McCormick Foundation Center with dozens of supporters and media. Anticipation grew as time ticked by, but by 5:30 the results were clear. They had delivered a respectful concession speech while Salento and her supporters cried out in joy. Isabel, both campaigns focused heavily on big changes for ASG in the upcoming year, but the Christina and Max campaign really focused on marginalized students and the changes that they would like to see to better their time at Northwestern. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to sit down with them and see what that would look like. Thank you for joining me. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much for having us.
Why do you think that you won?
Oh, man. I think that we won, or I'd like to think that we won, because I think that Northwestern students recognize that it's time for a change on campus. Our entire campaign was kind of centered around inclusivity and really centering the voices of marginalized students who have for so long not been really part of the conversation in ASG elections. And so I think we just brought a really new, vibrant message that resonated with a lot of students, that students could say that this isn't a typical ASG campaign, that they couldn't point to it and say this is what happens every single year. It was very clear that we were doing something different.
Awesome. So you brought up your platform. Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah. You have a lot of big ideas and a lot of big changes in your platform. And in any election, whether it's for a student government or not, politicians, the candidates, they talk about big ideas, and then sometimes they have a hard time following through with them. How will you two follow through with some of those big ideas?
What I would want to do is try to make sure that we're prioritizing the things that we think are the most important and the things that are most urgent, as well as the things that have already been, kind of getting started.
Wonderful. So as far as the administration goes, a lot of students hold the belief that sometimes the administration has a hard time enacting some of the different policies and different things that ASG itself approves.
Yeah.
And by your participation in the walkout on President Shapiro last week, that would suggest that you would align yourself with those beliefs. How would you say that you are going to uphold a good relationship with the administration, or rather, what kind of relationship would you like to have with them in that context?
Sure.
I think that at the end of the day, you have to be able to challenge the administration. That's something that is necessary in a student government president, vice president, because it's not necessarily our belief that the administration knows what's best for us. At the end of the day, they're not students here. They don't, have the same experiences that we do here. So, of course, there's going to be times where we need to challenge the administration.
Yeah, but I think that also pushing the administration doesn't necessarily mean that we're burning bridges at every turn. It's about creating respectable relationships and knowing that administrators we're not going to go into a room and then flip over a table and leave or something. I wouldn't, not at least the first meeting. Just kidding. It's we would we would maintain a relationship with administrators because that's obviously necessary to have a working relationship and to be productive and to be respected. But at the same time, I think we're not afraid to push the envelope a little bit where, administrators have dragged their feet on getting projects done, or, the same things are being talked about year after year, but no action is, resulting. And so I think that that's where we bring something that's a little bit different. It's not necessarily that, resulting to these kind of more like radical acts is going to be our first resort, but rather that if other channels don't prove effective, that we know that we can push the boundaries where people haven't done so before.
Thank you so much, Christina. Max, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, thanks.
In the wake of the vandalism in Alice Millar Chapel in March, members of the Northwestern community came together for a special service Friday afternoon. NNN's Andy Weir was there.
Reflection, acceptance, and faith. That's what brought members of the Northwestern community together Friday at the Alice Millar Chapel. Organizers billed the event as an opportunity to reaffirm the community's commitment to inclusion and featured speeches and short prayers from campus religious leaders, students, and special guest speaker Ibu Patel.
Very often racism, marginalization is met with silence and darkness.
University chaplain Tim Stevens says he hoped to arrange a lineup of speakers that reflected the diversity of both the chapel and Northwestern.
We wanted to have the event reflect the inclusiveness that this building represents. The chapel and religious center are really home to a wide variety of religious groups and individuals.
The event comes just weeks after 2 Weinberg freshmen were charged on 3 counts each for the vandalism in a Cook County criminal court.
To just have something like that happen and clean up the graffiti and swipe it under the rug, I think would not make a strong enough statement.
But for now, the chapel and its leaders are hoping to move past the show of hatred by continuing to talk about acceptance and inclusion at Northwestern.
This is something that affects all of our students on campus, not just the students and people who attend Alice Millar, but also the people, everybody of faith and not faith.
Andy Weir, Northwestern News Report.
Friday's event comes just weeks before the chapel's next big inclusion engagement, Wildcat Interfaith Month, which kicks off in early May.
The news on Friday didn't stop there. Northwestern's Counseling and Psychological Services also released plans for several reforms that they intend to make to the program in the fall of 2016. Most notably, CAPS announced student treatment will no longer be based on a 12-session limit, which may have kept students from seeking help in the past. The changes are the product of a task force created fall quarter specifically intended to review the session limit model. Wendy Roldan, a junior on the task force, said the goal was to create a system where students can leave knowing CAPS cares.
When we come back, what President Obama had to say to you Chicago's next generation of lawyers.
I'm Matt Stunn, and coming up, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Let's take a look at your 5-day weather forecast. It's National Big Wind Day today, but you wouldn't know it by going outside. Tomorrow you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 55 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. The sun will come back out on Thursday, inching the high up to 56 degrees, and we'll see a low of 42. Rounding out the work week, on Friday we'll have mostly sunny conditions with a high of 59 degrees and a low of 46. And it may be time to break out those shorts and enjoy the day on the Lakeville on Saturday. We'll see the highest temperatures this week with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 49 degrees. Sunday's looking not too shabby either, with only a slight downgrade in temperatures. It will be mostly sunny with a high of 63 and a low of 52. This has been Matt Stunn with your 5-day weather forecast.
And President Obama returned home to Chicago last Thursday to talk about his Supreme Court nominee, Merrick Garland, as he continues to pressure the Senate to hold hearings and a vote. The president spoke at length to students and faculty at the University of Chicago Law School about Garland's qualifications, describing him as a, quote, fair, smart, and objective consensus builder. While reminiscing over the dozen years he spent as a law professor at the university, Obama lamented how the gridlock nomination process has become, suggesting that the integrity of the judicial branch is at stake.
No one has plausibly made an argument that this is not the kind of person we'd want on the Supreme Court. The question then becomes, why is it so hard for the guy just to get a hearing and a vote?
Obama's visit marked the 33rd time he's returned to Illinois since reaching the White House, and the first time he's gone back to the University of Chicago Law School.
And lawmakers here in Illinois are following Obama's lead in health care by improving access to some essential products. Our Bria Kalpin has more.
For many women, periods can be difficult to manage, but Illinois lawmakers are doing what they can to make them easier. On Wednesday, March 16th, the Chicago City Council voted unanimously on a measure to repeal a tax on feminine hygiene products such as tampons and sanitary napkins. Juliette Johnson, a first-year representative of the Northwestern Sexual Health and Assault Peer Educators, says the tax cut on these products is long overdue.
For a lot of people, buying tampons and other sanitary products can be quite a big expense, and not being able to have access to these products can actually really detract from a woman's everyday life, and that's just really unfortunate and shouldn't have to happen.
Chicago has 4 separate taxes that apply to feminine hygiene products, resulting in a combined sales tax of more than 10%. A study done by groundswell.org estimates that women spend approximately $120 per year on tampons and pads, a price that can be a burden for some, which is why Illinois is working to mitigate some of the cost. Taxes are based on product classification, so items like medical necessities are untaxed, and effective January 2017, tampons and sanitary napkins will be classified as medical necessities. However, products mostly used by men, such as Rogaine and condoms, already fall under that category, which freshman Jordan Thompson says is systematically unjust to women.
Tampons like something a woman needs, so I don't feel like it should be taxed. It's kind of like food, like we all need food to live, so they don't tax that.
Illinois isn't the only state working to make a change. New York, Ohio, Utah, and Virginia are also considering legislation to drop the tax. So the next time Aunt Flo comes to visit, it may be a little less expensive. Bria Kalpin, Northwestern News Report.
This change will only account for the 1.25% city tax. Lawmakers say eliminating what they can of the rest of the tax is next.
Mayfest, the student group that runs Dillo Day, is under scrutiny for not having a backup venue after last year's festival was canceled due to weather concerns. The organization chose not to secure an indoor location this year due to budget restrictions and has instead invested funds in an insurance plan. This plan would return at least some of the concert costs should the event be canceled again. Mayfest has announced Anderson .Paak and the Free Nationals as the first performance for this year's Dillo Day. And while it's still too early to say for certain, historical averages indicate the weather this year should be around 70 degrees.
We wanted to know who you hope to see performing at Dillo. We asked you about it in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
Unpopular opinion, I love country music, and I feel like Dillo Day would be so fun if there was just a whole lineup of country music stars.
I would have the Mowglis come, so they're like not the biggest group, so it's reasonable for them to come, and I think we could actually swing it off.
My favorite is one that I started hearing a little bit ago. It's called Cat Crazy. I think they're out of somewhere in Europe, but it's EDM music, and it would be awesome to have them here.
I want the Arctic Monkeys for Dillo because I think that they're a really awesome, cool band and that they would put on a really good show.
I would invite Wynton Marsalis for his incredible trumpet expertise and for the innovations that he's brought to jazz as a genre and music as a whole.
I would want Florence and the Machine to come because Florence Welch is perfection.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at @NNN_news.
After the break, we'll tell you how one Northwestern startup is homing in on drone technology.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Go Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
The world's first indoor home drone is being produced by a startup from right here on campus. NNN's Michelle Beck joins us with more.
Thanks, Eric. One startup on campus has made significant strides, creating the first home drone remotely accessible anywhere in the world. I sat down with the group to find out exactly what it is that makes their project so unique.
For the first time, a drone can be used as a personal assistant within the home. The Rook was built and designed by Northwestern startup 89 Robotics. It allows consumers to monitor their homes, from flying around doing nighttime surveillance to simply checking to see if the stove is still on. But you don't have to be anywhere close to home to use it.
Through the camera attached under the body of the drone, consumers can see what the Rook sees, live from their smartphones.
The technology is enabled by the Rook's connection to the consumer's home Wi-Fi, while other drones depend on physical proximity, which means owners can access it from anywhere in the world. Spencer Williams, a full-time student and CTO of 89 Robotics, describes this factor as what sets the Rook apart.
The big innovation for us is that we're using cloud servers to basically send all the video transmission data and controls through the cloud to a mobile app, so you can actually be anywhere and communicate with their drone.
Founder and CEO Jackie Wu, who earned a master's degree in robotics from Northwestern in 2015, first conceived of the Rook 2 years ago.
When I first started this, I was looking at the other drones in the market, and this is an unmet need. This is like a niche in the market that nobody was doing, and still today there's no other drone in the market that does this.
Wu's vision became reality as over $52,000 have been raised towards the company's campaign on crowdfunding site Indiegogo. For younger members like Matt Chung, one of 4 freshmen in the startup, the entrepreneurial efforts have been as much of a learning process as the engineering.
I'm relatively, I can say, inexperienced compared to Jackie or Spencer, but they've been really great mentors.
89 Robotics says it is currently in talks with producers at ABC's Shark Tank, so they recommend ordering your Rook very soon. Back to you.
And speaking of innovation, Northwestern has officially released applications to study on its new San Francisco campus next year. The program is near Silicon Valley and focuses on what program faculty call collaborative innovation. It will bring together Medill and McCormick students to work together and with clients in the Bay Area. The 2 schools already partner in the Night Lab on campus and in the NU Vention Web and Media Entrepreneurship class. Owen Youngman, a professor in the Night Lab and one of the program's faculty, says especially in the first year, they'll be making it up as they go.
Students will really help us to shape what this program is, not only in this first iteration, but in succeeding ones.
Applications for the program are due April 18th.
A peeled juice bar is scheduled to open in the Henry Crowned Sports Pavilion lobby this week. The company says they promote healthy eating by using natural, nutrient-rich, and organic ingredients. Their menu contains cold-pressed juices, smoothies, and acai bowls. The juice bar will also include menu items not available at other locations, such as single-origin coffee. A juice bar has been part of the plan for the Sports Pavilion since it was renovated in 2013 and is tentatively scheduled to open on Friday.
Honestly, peeled is like a great after-workout snack. Also before workout too, so you can go there before you exercise or after you exercise. So it's just going to be like a nice pick-me-up.
Northwestern Recreation Peeled will not be accepting student meal plans.
Coming up, Evan Denton tells us how the Cats fared this week in sports.
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
At Northwestern, we're wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Why spend your entire life looking for some on-ramp to the road to opportunity when there's already a well-traveled path? So you may be wondering, what does that path look like? Is it paved with gold? Well, here's a hint. It's actually paved with purple. Northwestern University. Your road starts here.
Why hang around waiting for opportunity to knock when instead you can track opportunity down and knock on its door? You might ask, what's the best way to identify where opportunity lives? Here's a hint. Its door is colored purple. Northwestern University. Opportunity awaits your knock.
Welcome back. We're here with Evan from sports. Evan, how'd we do this week?
It was another up and down week for the Cats.
As of late, the women's lacrosse team has been struggling by its lofty standards. Playing one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the nation, the Cats have been slowly clawing their way back to top form. This past Thursday, the Wildcats welcomed the Michigan Wolverines to Martin Stadium. Could they bring home the win? Let's take a look. 25 minutes to go in the first half, Christina Esposito makes the first goal for the game. Cats on the board now. Following some textbook tic-tac-toe passing, Kaylee Craig puts away the close shot. You'll see it in a second. Here it comes. Wow, what a goal. Cats up 7-0. Selena Lasota breaking some ankles. Watch this. Ooh, what a move. Got him. Cats lead 8-0. Under 1 minute to go in the game now. Senior Carolina Lizio nets her first goal of the season right here and caps off the scoring. Cats win 20-4. As a whole, the Wildcats took 26 more shots than the Wolverines. Selena Lasota led the Wildcats with 6 goals. Looking to add on to their big win over Michigan, the Wildcats face off with the number 5 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Were the Cats up for the challenge? Back out to Martin Stadium we go. Wildcats getting ready for the number 5 Irish. Down 2-0 early, Christina Esposito beats the goalie. Cats on the board. 18 minutes left in the first half. Selena Lasota picks up the loose ball, weaves in and out of the Notre Dame defense, and she beats the goalie. Cats trail 4-3. 6 minutes to go now in the game. Kaylee Craig finds a wide open Lasota, and she beats the goalie again. Cats win 17-12 over the number 5 ranked Notre Dame. The Wildcats are next in action against the Southern California Trojans this Friday at Martin Stadium. Switching over to the baseball diamond, the baseball team was on the road this past weekend in Lincoln, Nebraska. Leading up to Saturday's game, the Cats had lost 5 of their past 6 games. Could they wake up their dormant bats? Let's roll the tape. 7th inning now, junior Joe Hoshite hits a deep fly ball. Back, it's gone. Cats down 8-4. Top of the 8th, Hoshite again. Are you serious? His own personal home run derby. Cats trail 8-7. Now get a load of this. In the bottom of the 8th, Nebraska up to bat. Look at this. A diving catch by who else but Hoshite. Unbelievable game. The Cats would lose, though, 8-7 in a close one. The Cats were able to salvage a win Sunday against Nebraska 11-3 in the series finale. So overall, a rather up and down week for Northwestern sports.
Thanks, Evan. Up next, one student group shares their spin on body acceptance.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
The annual Burlesque Show reclaimed the stage in Parks Hall last week, and our Isabella Zhao was there.
The show aimed to promote body confidence regardless of gender or sexuality. In the show, which ran Thursday through Sunday, burlesque dancers set out to embrace their bodies as they are. Everett Dominguez, co-director of the show, said burlesque also empowers the audience to love their bodies.
Burlesque is an art form that really embraces a lot of different body sizes, races, ethnicities, and so the industry of burlesque in general seems to us very, very empowering for loving your body just the way it is.
Performers of all experience levels participated, including Victoria Case, a McCormick pre-senior and professional burlesque dancer.
I do a lot of booty popping, some twerking. It's really fun. I have this giant tail that gets a lot of love, so it's pretty exciting.
And all that dancing didn't go to waste. Performers also sold merchandise to raise funds for breast and ovarian cancer.
These are pasties, also known as nipple pasties. I have handmade every single pair, bedazzled it myself.
Case added, burlesque brings diversity to the university campus.
And I think it's great that Northwestern has something that's this radical, that's an art form that not a lot of people get to see.
Isabella Jiao, Northwestern News Report.
And that's all we have for you tonight. I'm Eric Miller.
I'm Evan Denton for sports.
And I'm Isabel Lawrence. Good night.